gratitude knows no bounds to have amidst us Padma Bhushan Natyacharyas Shri VP Dhananjayan Sir and Srimati Shanta Dhananjayan Akka. Team Nirvikalpa requests the privilege of honoring them as a token of our appreciation and our gratitude.
To conjure up the ideas they have put up, there is one sloka, Acharyat Padamadatte Padam Shishya Swamedhaya Padam Sa Brahmacharibhyam Kalam Padam Kala Kramenavat. What all they have quoted, it is conjured up in that particular sloka. Padam, one-fourth from the Acharya, 1/4 from Sabbrahmacharibhyam, that is your classmates, and Padam Padam Kalakramena. Nalacha, first Acharya, then Somedhaya. Avava Sondama analyze, cut, chewing and cut, and then Padam Sabbrahmacharibhyam, all colleagues to watch others, that's very important. Padam Kalakramena. The last Padam quarter is obtained by experience. Watching, doing, and not changing Vadhyars every week. அப்போ என்ன கரெக்டாக வராது. ஒரே வாத்தியாரோட குருவோட இருந்தால் தான் நாங்கள்லாம் எங்களுக்கெல்லாம் இந்த ஸ்டேட்டஸ் கிடைச்சது only because of that one guru. And one thing I want to ask the audience and also the organizer, they have to explain the term Nirvikalpa Samadhi. அது யோகாஸில் தான் வரும் அது. Nirvikalpa, somebody has to explain it to the audience. And the press, they have a great responsibility to take these things, educate the public. Yes. The purpose of Natyam is educate, elevate, and entertainment. Educate. For that, we need the press support.
Namaskaram. Respected Dhananjayan Sir, Shanta Akka, and all my friends and colleagues in the audience. It is a very emotional moment for me to be here this evening as part of the first anniversary celebrations of Nirvikalpa, the brainchild of these youngsters. And what I have done is just giving them a nudge from the back to carry on with their dreams and work hard towards realizing those dreams. And it is a very momentous occasion to have such esteemed panelists this evening discussing a very hot topic in the field of Natyam, the Guru Sishya Parampara. And I'm not going into detailed introduction of these very well-known and artists who have been in the field for at least more than 4 to 5 decades, who have sustained in the field because of their passion, commitment, hard work, and tireless energy, because of which they are where they are today. So I'm doing away with formal introductions. Srimati Chitra Vishweshwaran, Dr. Srilata Vinod, Sri G. Narendra and Shailaja, dear friend of mine. So without much ado, I will pose a question about what the topic means, and I would request each one of them to give their views about it. And a discussion is always healthy in the sense we discuss certain things so that we arrive at some conclusion as to how to take things forward. So it is not necessary that all of us should agree on anything. There has to be someone who has a different opinion, but then there should be a healthy confluence of opinions so that we find a solution to what the youngsters, especially this day, the young and upcoming artists are facing when they are trying to establishing themselves in the field. As far as we are all concerned, we have sailed this field and we have tried to gain our foothold in the field, and each one has had a different experience in their journey. But then, when it comes to the youngsters, unless they listen to this inputs that these artists are going to give us, and unless they imbibe and assimilate that in their journey, it is not possible to survive in the field. So I start off with the first question. The topic is the Guru Sishya Parampara and the importance of the Guru Sishya Parampara. Who is a Guru? Who is a Sishya? And whether a parampara like a Guru Sishya Parampara is relevant or is it even important these days? So I will start off with Chitraka. Okay, Akka wants us to start with the youngsters. So I'm not fixing any age or experience, but I start with, I start with Sri Lata. Why do you think it is important to have faith in the Guru Sishya Parampara? And what has been your experience of learning in such an Guru Sishya Parampara? Because all of us know that you come from the grand lineage of Dhananjayan Sir and Shantaka. So your thoughts on this, Sri Lata?
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaskaram to all present here on the dais and off the dais. My pranams to my gurus, the Dhananjayans, and all the others in the audience. My take on the word guru, yes, it is a very heavy word. We all know that guru is more than a teacher, somebody who removes the darkness. We know all the definitions. But in the perspective of the art form that I am practicing today, Bharatanatyam, it is the Guru Sishya, the person who led me. There were two great gurus. Of course, first I started with Tanjai Arunachalam Pillai, but the entire process of actually shaping and molding me was completely the Dhananjayans. The Guru Sishya, why I say that was they did not just impart the technique or the grammar of Bharatanatyam. If that were so, then it just limits it to Acharya or Upadhyaya, whoever you want to give in that hierarchy. But it was to instill so many values apart from just coming to class and learning Bharatanatyam. How do you speak to people? How would you address a small child who will not remain quiet in class? How will you speak in public? How will you face challenges in life? Little things like that, including how will you iron a costume neatly, put it away the way it has to be so that it is ready for the next performance. It can be very trivial, it can be really large, but every day was a learning in that sense. Right from the way the footwear was placed, it's so much a part of all of us who have trained here that we definitely make it a point to do that and transmit it to whoever we teach, wherever we are. Now, that is something that has come because of this. It does not come with classroom teaching, it does not definitely end there. It was a handheld, you were literally handheld right from dawn to dusk. And so many, I mean, the hours we spent in Bharatakalanjali was much more than what we spent at home. And I think many of them here will vouch for the same in their own, with their own teachers, with their own gurus, I'm sure. So, Guru Sishya is a need of the hour. Now, how do we recreate that scene here? That is something we'll have to take it further for a dialogue. But yes, we have benefited. And I think we belong to that generation which was very lucky to have a bit of the past and yet are able to contend or cope with the pressures of today. So, in that sense, we have been fortunate.
Very well said, Shailaja. I now, sorry, Srilata. I was thinking of Shailaja next. Shailaja here has the unique experience of learning two great classical styles, Bharatanatyam and Kuchipudi, and from two great doyens, legendary gurus, Srimati K.J. Sarasa and Dr. Vempati Chinnasatyam. So, Shailaja, what has been your experience learning from these, larger than life figures? When I think of especially Vempati Sar and Sarasamma, they are larger than life figures in the field. What was your experience of learning from both these gurus?
Namaskaram. Dhananjay sir and Shatama, Namaskaram. And it's lovely to first see a really appreciable audience with so many youngsters here. I think that is the first thing I'm really appreciating, that we have an audience today, which is the most important thing that we are facing as dancers. And now coming back to the very special bond of Guru Sishya Parampara, as Roja said, I think I've been just blessed with the best of the masters in both the fields, and I really can't ask for more. And to me, over the years, as I learned Bharatanatyam for 18 years with Sarsamma and 16 years with Dr. Vempati Master, I really feel today it's a total surrender to your Guru. Because that's how I've grown up, that's how I've been brought up in the family, that's how I've been advised when I said I wanted to take dance as a career. So to me, the Guru becomes a total surrender, how much you surrender to the God. I think the next is that because you owe everything to them. And the second thing is that I feel that as much as your parents are, how much they are important in our lives. The Guru becomes the second mother. The Guru becomes the second father. It's your second home. So when you say every time, this is my second home, that means they are your second, they are elevated to your parents. So it's not about just going to the class, just learning the dance. As, kind of Srilata pointed out, we take so much of pride in today saying we spend so many hours at the Guru's place, more than even my home. So that shows not only your passion, your commitment to the art form, but it also shows how much they have taken care, how much they have given the knowledge, how much they have caught hold of you. Unless the Gurus are also like that, I'm sure we wouldn't surrender to them. So it's a kind of a reciprocative process, and it is very, very important when you especially want to take dance as your profession. As much as we say the universities from where we come from, the schools where we come from, we take everyday pride to say, I am from IIT, I am from this institution. So we should take pride to say, I have been trained by so and so. I come under this lineage, I come under this, because that is what really, really carries you forward. It is true that we have put in a lot of hard work, lot of imbibing the art from the masters, but truly, and it is a responsibility for us to pass it on to the generation. Especially when I see Chitraka here, I have seen as a child how much I have attended her performances. Even today, it is so live, it's just in front of me, and I think it's the Neelambari Varnam. எதுக்கு சொல்றேன்னா, this is what it is when you learn and you want to go forward as a professional. And the the way she entered, it's still in my mind. You know, you impress people because of that. It is because you have imbibed something from your guru. So, எனக்கு குருன்னும் போது it's not just your own gurus, your own masters. I have been trained to watch all performances by stalwarts, whether it be Odissi, Kathak, Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, the standard advice, and it was kind of a command that during the season, December season, you have to watch all these people because they are also gurus in the different other fields. You take the positive, you take the negatives, you learn yourself, because truly I believe that we know what our negatives and positives are as a dancer. So when you watch the great legends, when you watch the great gurus, you learn so much. So the guru sishya is, of course, to your guru, you owe everything. But it's also important to respect the other gurus, the other lineage, because everything encompasses us to become a professional artist. And I think that is why we stand where we are. It's not just because we have practiced over the years and we have, choreographed, and we do add on a lot of encomiums to ourselves saying, I did this, I did that. No, end of the day, it has all been passed on to you through your gurus and the great legends. So I think today, as youngsters, and especially those who want to take dance as profession, you must really get back to the Guru Sishya Parampara.
Narendra comes from institutionalized learning because he is a product of Kalakshetra first. Correct me if I'm wrong. Illala, correct. Kalakshetra, and then he took advanced lessons from Dhananjayan sir. Okay. So institutionalized learning and Guru Sishya Parampara in institutionalized learning. I want your thoughts on this, Narendra. How was your experience learning from several gurus at Kalakshetra? And how did you imbibe it and how did you bring it to your career and Natyam?
Namaskaram to everyone. Let me first admit I'm not as articulate, educated as Dr. Srilata, Chitraka, and Shailaja, and you. You're all excellent speakers. But one thing good about me is I speak my heart. So whatever I say is not something which has to be taken, you shouldn't take it offensively because that's not the intention. The intention is only, as you said, there has to be some kind of finality. In this, we will not find a finality with regard to Guru Shishya Parampara. I did learn 15 years of Natyam before coming to Kalakshetra. So I started at age 8. So I came to Kalakshetra because I wanted to learn more. In fact, I have said this on many occasions. I did go to Bharata Kalanjali first. And Dhananjayan sir himself said, go to Kalakshetra. So I finished Kalakshetra post-graduation, and I was not wanted in Kalakshetra, as simple as that. I'm considered arrogant, I'm considered a person who speaks your mind, etc. So in Kalakshetra, you cannot survive if you speak your mind. So I had to I was not asked to leave, but then at that time, Dhananjayan sir was looking for, he was going on a tour for Ramanataka and he chose me as Rama. Kalakshetra didn't give me Rama role, but he gave me Rama role. It's not that Kalakshetra didn't give me Rama. Many other roles were given. This is not to say that Kalakshetra did anything wrong, but these are the facts. So, apart from whatever Srilata and Shailaja, I mean, instead of repeating the same thing, I want youngsters to know certain things. This guru, legend, choreographer, genius, these are all misunderstood and become fashionable. Everybody has become a guru. 4 வருஷம் டான்ஸ் படிச்சிருப்பா, 6 வருஷம் டான்ஸ் படிச்சிருப்பா, அவங்களும் குரு. ஒரு மார்க்கம் படிச்சிருப்பா, அவனும் குரு, அவளும் குரு. எல்லாரும் choreographer. So it's become, I find this funny. I mean, they don't know the difference between guru, they don't know the difference between choreography or a dance composition. It's there right now. It's because everybody using the same phrase. Yaro orthar solrana, you follow the trend. We are like sheep, you know, you just fall into the trap. So first thing, the youngsters need to know that guru, in my opinion, you should have the age, you should have anubhavam, that is experience. You should have abhara jnanam, not just correcting adavu. அதாவது வந்து இந்த பக்கம் நீ வந்து தையும் தத்தா இந்த பக்கம் கரெக்டாக பண்ண, இந்த பக்கம் தைய பண்ணிட்டேன்னு சொல்கிறது எல்லாம் குரு ஆக முடியாது. இல்லாட்டி பின்னாடி போகாமல் நீ மறுபடியும் இன்னொன்று எடுத்துட்டேன்னு சொல்கிறது குரு ஆக முடியாது. ஸோ தேர் ஆல் just starting to learn themselves first of all. So you need a lot of time to become, even attain this stage of guru. A guru, in my opinion, also has to be somebody who gives vidya dhanam. It's not a commodity. So attaining that status is not easy. நான் என்னோட ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸுக்கு தயவு செஞ்சு என்னை குருன்னு கூப்பிடாதீங்க. நான் வந்து வாத்தியார் இல்லாட்டி ஆச்சாரியா, அவ்வளோதான். இதுக்கு மேலே என்னை குருன்னு கூப்பிடாதீங்கோ, அவமானமாக இருக்குது, எனக்கு அந்த தகுதி கிடையாதுன்னு ஃபஸ்ட்டு என்னோடய ஸ்டூடெண்ட் சொல்கிறேன். ஆனாலும் ஏதோ குரு நினை, அந்த குருன்றது ஒரு மாதிரி இது ப்ரீஃபிக்ஸ் ஆகிடுது. It's become meaningless. So we have to bring back meaning to what guru means. அதுக்காக தான் இது சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கேன். ஸோ சாரி, ஐ ஹாவ் டு இது வந்து. அண்ட் ஆல்சோ அ குரு ஷுட் பி ஏபிள் டு கைட் யூ இன் த ரைட் பாத். தப்பு பண்ணால் திருத்தணும். சின்ன வயசில் நாங்கள் எல்லாம் தப்பு பண்ணுவோம். இன்ஃபேக்ட் நான் தனஞ்சயன் சாருக்கு ஒரு தடவை சொன்னேன், நான் தப்பு பண்ணும்போது நீங்கள் நீ திருத்திருக்கணும், இப்படி இல்லை பேசக்கூடாதுரா, இதுதான் வழின்னு சொல்லியிருக்கணும். என் மேலே நீங்கள் கோச்சிக்கக்கூடாது. நான் தப்பு பண்ணுவேன், நீங்களும் தப்பு பண்ணியிருப்பீங்க, அந்த வயசில் எல்லாம் பண்ணுற தப்பு எல்லாம் பண்ணுவோம். அந்த தகுதியும் குருக்கு இருக்கணும். யூ ஹேவ் டு பிரிங் தெம் பேக் இன் டு யுவர் லீஷில் திருப்பி கொண்டு வர மாதிரி கொண்டு வர தகுதியும் அந்த வாத்தியாருக்கு இருக்கணும். நல்லதும் சொல்லிக் கொடுக்கணும், கெட்டது பண்ணக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லி இருக்கணும். அது எல்லாமே ஒரு குவாலிட்டி ஆஃப் எ டீச்சர். Of course, நம்ம வந்து right in the beginning we said Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma. So Guru Sakshat Param Brahmana தான் சொல்கிறோம். அதாவது குருன்றது கடவுளுக்கு ஈக்குவலான சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம். ஈக்குவல் டு காட் அப்படின்னு பேசின்னு இருக்கோம். அந்த வகையில் நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எத்தனை பேரால் குருன்னு சொல்லிக்க முடியுன்றது எனிபடிஸ் கெஸ். ஐ டோன்ட் வாண்ட் டு சே ஹூ இஸ் குரு, இஸ் நாட் எ குரு. ஐ லீவ் திஸ் டு யூ, பிகாஸ் நீ வந்து ததாஸ்து உனக்கு இது கிடச்சிடும் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிற ஸ்தானத்தில் யாரும் இல்லை. யூ கேன் ஓன்லி மீன் வெல், யூ கேன் ஓன்லி விஷ் வெல், ரைட்? ஸோ அந்த ஸ்தானம் எத்தனை பேருக்கு இருக்குன்றது எனக்கு தெரியல. இட்ஸ் an anybody's guess. It's a lot of introspection even within me, you know. அது ஒன்று. குரு ஷுட் நாட் பி பைபார்ட்டிசான். ஒரு வாத்தியார் வந்து என்னோடய ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸில் நான் வந்து நீ யார், எந்த ஜாதி, எந்த ஃபேமிலியிலேருந்து வந்திருக்க, உங்கள் அப்பா அம்மா கிட்ட எவ்வளோ பைசா இருக்குது, எதையும் கேட்டது கிடையாது. எல்லாரையும் ஒரே சரி சமானமாக சொல்லி கொடுக்கறதுக்கு மட்டும்தான் எனக்கு தெரியும். அதுதான் பண்ணணும் எல்லா வாத்தியாரும். இப்போ ரீசெண்டாக ஒரு அரங்கேற்றம் பண்ணோம். அவங்க அப்பாவை நான் 2 நாள் முன்னாடி தான் பார்த்தேன். என்ன பண்ணுறீங்கன்னு கேட்டேன். அப்போ தான் தெரிஞ்சுது. அதனால நான் வந்து அரங்கேற்றம் ஜாஸ்தி கொடுங்கன்னு கேட்கக்கூடாது இல்லையா? அதனால அது கூட நான் பண்ணது கிடையாது. அதுவும் ஒரு குருக்கு தகுதின்னு நான் சொல்கிறேன். நான் குரு இல்லை, பட் அது ஒரு இம்பார்ட்டண்ட் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறேன். இதை மீறி வந்து நமக்கு வந்து குருகுலம் அப்படின்னு நம்ம யோசித்து பார்த்தோம்னா, நான் படித்த வரைக்கும் சின்ன வயசில் இந்த காமிக் புக்ஸ்லேருந்து என்னெல்லாம் படிச்சிருக்கேனோ இதில் நமக்கு ஃபஸ்ட்டு தலையில் என்ன வருது, 2 விஷயம் என்ன தலையில் வருது, நிறைய இருக்குது, அதில் 2. குருகுலம் அப்படின்னா கிருஷ்ணனும் குச்சேலனும் 2 பேரும் குருகுலத்துக்கு போனான். இதுதான் உண்மையான குருகுலம். வீட்டில் என்னென்ன சின்ன சின்ன வேலையெல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு வித்யை படிக்கிறது, இதுதான். எண்ட் ஆஃப் த டே பைசா இருக்கிறவன் கொடுக்குறான், இல்லாதவன் வந்து என்ன பண்ணுறானோ தெரியல, இப்படி தான். இதுதான் குருகுலம். குச்சேலம் ஏழை அப்படின்னு வந்து அவரோட வாத்தியார் கம்மி சொல்லி கொடுக்கல, கிருஷ்ணா வந்து பகவான் ஒன்று ஜாஸ்தி சொல்லி கொடுக்கல, எல்லாரையும் சரி. இதுதான் ஒரு குருக்கு வேண்டிய தகுதி. இது இன்னொரு முக்கியமான எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்கிறேன். துரோணாச்சாரியர் வர அர்ஜுனனுக்கு ஒரு ராஜகுலத்தில் வந்ததுனால வந்து அவருக்கு போ அண்ட் ஆரோ எப்படி பிடிக்கிறதுலேருந்து மேட் ஹிம் எ கிரேட் ஆர்ச்சர். ஏகலவ்யா வந்து ஓரமாக பார்த்து பார்த்து கண்டுபிடிச்சார். ஆனால் துரோணாச்சாரியர் என்ன பண்ணார், அவரோட விரல் வாங்கிட்டார். இது குருக்கு தகுதியே கிடையாது. ஹி கேன் நாட் பி எ குரு இன் மை ஒப்பீனியன். ஹி கேன், தட்ஸ் வை ப்ராபப்லி இஸ் கால்ட் துரோணாச்சாரியா. ப்ராபப்லி இஸ் நாட் ப்ராபப்லி கால்டு குரு துரோணா. ப்ராபப்ளி, ஐ டோன்ட் நோ. நீங்கள்லாம் இன்னொரு விஷயம் சொல்கிறேன். சித்ராக்கா பார்க்கும்போது நான் இங்கே வரும்போது, இப்போது கலாக்ஷேத்ராக்கு சேரும்போது 86 வந்தேன். இத்தனை வருஷம் மைசூரில் வந்து இட் வாஸ் ஜஸ்ட் லிட்டில் மோர் தென் எ கிராமம். ஐ மீன் இட் வாஸ் எ டவுன் அட் தட் டைம் 86. யாராவது ஒரு பிரபலமான ஒரு டான்ஸர் வந்தால், நர்த்தகி டான்ஸர்னா தனஞ்சய் சார் கோச்சிப்பார். அதனால் அங்கே யாராவது ஒரு நல்ல பிரபலமான கலைஞன், ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் தே வில் கம். அப்போ வந்து ஆசையாக பார்ப்போம், நம்மளும் இப்படி ஆகணும்னு எதிர்பார்ப்போம். சித்ராக்கா வந்திருக்கா, உங்களுக்கு தெரியாது, நிறைய தடவை ஜெகன்மோகன் பேலஸ்னு நிறைய தடவை போய் பார்த்துருக்கேன். பத்மா சுப்பிரமணியம் அக்கா வந்திருக்காங்க. இதெல்லாம் இவங்களெல்லாம் பார்த்து எனக்கும் நாட்டியம் ஜாஸ்தி படிக்கணும்னு இங்கே வந்திருக்கேன். அப்போது சித்ராக்காவும் குரு, நானும் குரு எப்படி ஆக முடியும், அது நான் தான் புரிஞ்சுக்கணும் இல்லையா? திஸ் இஸ் ஒன் திங். இன்னொன்று என்னன்னா, குருன்றதுக்கு இன்னும் பல விஷயங்கள். நான் ரீசெண்டாக இது ஒரு கேள்விப்பட்ட விஷயம். பீம்சேன் ஜோஷி வந்து தேடிண்டு கொல்கட்டாக்கு போயிட்டாராம் பாட்டு படிக்கணும்னு. ரேடியோவில் கேட்டுட்டு இருப்பாராம். அவரோட குரு வந்து பக்கத்துலேயே தான் இருந்திருக்கார், சாவை அந்த மகாராஷ்டிரா பாட்டிலே தான் இருந்திருக்கார். இவர் வந்து எங்கேன்னு தெரியாமல் ட்ரெயின் ஏறி வந்து கொல்கட்டாக்கு போயிட்டாராம். அங்கேயே 10 வருஷம் அங்கே இங்கே எல்லாம் சுற்றி ஒரு நாள் வந்து நீ தேடிட்டு வந்த குரு வந்து உன்னோட ஊரில் இருக்காவோ அங்கே அப்படின்னு திருப்பி அனுப்பிச்சாராம். வந்ததுலேருந்து அங்கே தான் இருந்தாராம். அவருக்கு ஒரு சிஷ்யன், அவர் வந்து 28 வருஷம் அவர் கூடயே இருந்தாராம். ஆனால் இதில் முக்கியமாக சொல்லிடுறேன், நிறைய பேச வேண்டாம். அது வந்து ஃபஸ்ட்டு பீம்சேன் ஜோஷி தன்னோட சிஷ்யனுக்கு என்ன சொன்னாரான்னா, 4 மணி நேரம் ஸ்திரமாக சிட் ஸ்டில் ஃபார் 4 hours in one place, that is your first lesson அப்படின்னாராம். இதெல்லாம் தான் குருமார் சொல்லி கொடுக்குற விஷயங்கள். நம்ம வந்து இவங்க சொல்கிற மாதிரி சரண்டர். கன்னடாவில் ஒரு ப்ராவர்ப் இருக்குது, குருவின குலாம நாகுவ தனக்கா துரைய தண்ட முக்குத்தி அப்படின்னு இருக்குது. குருவின குலாமான்னா ஸ்லேவ் அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். அதோட உள்ள அர்த்தம் ஸ்லேவ் கிடையாது. சரண்டர் டு யுவர் டீச்சர், சரண்டர் டு யுவர் குரு. தட் இஸ் வாட் தி இன்னர் மீனிங் இஸ். இந்த வார்த்தைகளில் தப்பான அபார்த்தம் பண்ணிக்கக்கூடாது. திஸ் இஸ் வாட் ஐ திங்க். ஸோ இட்ஸ் ஆல் ஃபார் அஸ் டு ரியலைஸ் ஹூ இஸ் அ குரு, ஹூ இஸ் இட். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் எனக்கு வந்து மானசிக குரு அப்படின்றதும் இருக்குது. அது ஒரு பக்கம் இருக்குது. மானசிக குரு, சொல்லி கொடுத்த குரு, மானசிக குரு, பார்த்து படித்த குரு. இப்போ நீங்கள் சொன்ன மாதிரி நான் தனஞ்சயன் சார்கிட்ட போகும்போது ஐ வெண்ட் ஆஸ் அன் ஆர்டிஸ்ட் தேர். அதாவது ராமனா டான்ஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு தான் கூப்பிட்டார். போகும்போது அங்கே கூட பல வருஷங்கள் அவங்க கூட இருந்து கிளாஸில் படித்ததை விட பார்த்து 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 சாந்தாக்கா எப்படி நடவங்க பண்ணுறா, என்ன ப்ரிசிஷனில் அடவு பண்ணுறா, எப்படி செட்டில் அப்னை பண்ணுறா, தனஞ்சயன் சார், இதெல்லாம் பார்த்து படித்தது. அது ஒரு வித்தியாசமான படிப்புன்னு நான் இதை சொல்ல வரேன். தேங்க்யூ.
Thank you, Narendra, for putting so many things in perspective. Now we come to Chitraka. Your take on the Guru Shishya Parampara and how relevant and how impactful has it been in your journey as an artist, Akka?
अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरु परम्पराम्. ओम नमो भगवते मुक्तकृष्णाय. To add on to what these brilliant young practitioners of Bharatanatyam have been speaking, I would just like to add on a few things, more in the sense of personal experience. Much is being discussed about the word guru, about the word parampara. A Bani or parampara is only born when 3 generations have been practicing that same style. That is how it is discussed in North India. Because I grew up in North India, my initial learning was all in North India. So it just wasn't Bharatanatyam, it was Manipuri, it was Kathak, it was Rabindra Nritya, Rabindra Sangeet, and painting, theatre, all that is part of artist's life in Kolkata. I feel that the word guru is being trivialized very much. It's really been trivialized because, as Narendra was saying, a person who has just had an Arangetram and started teaching has the prefix of guru to the name. A person who does not have a vision is being addressed by the same term. But a guru is not so trivial, so much so I feel we must even drop the term guru from our lexicon of Bharatanatyam. ஏன்னா எல்லாரும் குருன்னா அப்போ அவ்வளோ உழைச்சி அவ்வளோ விஷனரியாக இருந்து நம்மளுக்கு வழிகாட்டியாக இருந்திருக்கிறவா அப்போ வாட் ஆர் தே? We can't go around calling everyone Paramaguru, like we say Paramacharya. அது நடக்காது. Actually, the term guru is really become very, very hackneyed. I learned 2 Banis. எல்லாம் ஆக்சுவலி ஒவ்வொரு நடனமணிக்கோ நர்த்தகனுக்கோ they have their own take, and the foundation is there, similar for so many, but they bring anyone worth their name brings their flavor to it. Now, I was very fortunate. I lived in Kolkata. So there was no chance of any dilution. It's not like it is today, that you had Rabindra Bharati and all sorts of people were teaching. Mridangis became dance teachers. That was after my time. But during my time, I was very, very fortunate to learn only from a Devadasi for 10 years. Srimati T.A. Rajalakshmi, who unfortunately never got to be known as much as she deserved. She was taken by Ariyakudi Ramanujayengar to Kolkata because the Tagore family wanted a teacher, that is an acharya, for Bharatanatyam. She was Kuppaya Pillai. I don't know how many youngsters here, except those who are serious-minded, know of Kuppaya Pillai, who was the doyen who established Raja Rajeshwari Bharatanatyam Kala Mandir in Mumbai. And today, if Bharatanatyam is prevalent in that part of our country, it is because of him, his lineage, and Tanjorkar, Veernath Tanjorkar. But, so she was there, and I started lessons from her. We didn't know whether we are supposed to say guru or anything. In those days, we never said in guru, we'd say teacher. That was the term we used. So even I think Salsama, you all used to call it teacher. So teacher used to, fantastic trainer. I'm automatically using the word trainer because that is what a Acharya primarily does, gives you the physical and the emotional and mental knowledge to carry on with Natyam. She used to say, today I'm forced to share this because in this day when everybody becomes a choreographer or composer, that day some young proud father brought his daughter to me and said, she's all of 8. என் பொண்ணு ரொம்ப நன்னா ஆடுவா, அவள் டான்ஸையெல்லாம் கோரியோகிராஃப் பண்ணிக்கிறானோன்னு அப்போதான் யூஸ் மை பெஸ்ட் அபிநயா blank ஃபேஸ். ஓல்டு இமையாசி அதை அப்படி பார்த்து அப்படியா ஒரு ஸ்மைல் போட்டுட்டு வந்துடுவேன். பட் இட் ஜஸ்ட் ஷோஸ் ஹவு மச் இக்னரன்ஸ் தேர் இஸ் இன் சொசைட்டி relating to all these terms. So she gave me a fantastic grounding, a fantastic foundation, and you build anything upon that, it would not shake. So it was traditional, it was, and unlike Kalakshetra where meanings were taught, I'm being open about it. There's no point saying, இல்லை எங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் ஹஸ்தங்கள்லாம் சொல்லி கொடுப்பா, எங்களுக்கு ஒவ்வொரு வேர்ட் மீனிங்கும் சொல்லி கொடுப்பா, அதெல்லாம் ஒன்றும் கிடையாது. Because they were not taught like that. It wasn't thought necessary because they grew up in that atmosphere. அவாக்கு என்ன சொல்லி கொடுக்கணும்? இப்போ ஒரு குழந்தைக்கு you will have to teach them to walk because they don't live like that. They are not able to sit on the floor because they don't live like that. The lifestyle is reflected in their teaching. So after learning from her, fantastic, I would say, first a shikshaka, then an acharya. She taught me, gave me very, very good grounding. And I, as a youngster, grew up watching all the great dancers visiting Calcutta and performing. I have seen Shanta and Dhananjay performing in Rabindra Sadan in Calcutta. I've seen Bala Saraswati, I've seen Yamini, I have seen Vaijayanti. The thing is, I only saw the best. I never got to see any substandard dancing. But as a child, I also wanted to take that path. And Kamala used to come very frequently. So I, at that time itself, wanted to learn from Kamala's guru. I think I was a little bit bright because I did not want to go and learn from Kamala. I wanted to learn from Kamala's guru because the guru is who made Kamala. So I got my national scholarship and I came to Chennai. It's absolute total change for me. You know, it was like coming from the outside. I was a girl who, as a child, at 3, when I came back from London, asked my parents whether I should eat the banana leaf because it was salad. I came from England. So I can understand how coming from the outside is. But I had all these artistic influences. When I came here, it was a totally different ball game. So teachers can be of different types. Here there was one who gave a good grounding, good technique, good in every way. But no awakening of the mind. Only the person who awakens the mind and who has a vision can be called a guru. That is something we really need to take into cognizance. And that cannot happen when you're young. That cannot happen in your 30s or 40s. It comes with time. And it also depends on what type of students you get. Now with Varurar, he was fondly called Varurar. The classes were very different. They weren't disciplined and, here today, somebody comes at 4 and says, oh my God, it's 6, I have to go to the next thing. Nothing like that. You come at 8:30 every morning. So he used to go at 8:30 every morning. Depending upon his mood, he would teach. And sometimes he'd wait the whole day and he would be taught 1 hour away. And sometimes he'd make you dance jati after jati, and he'd never use parallels. He'd never use parallels in the sense of using technical terms, thus confusing me. He wouldn't say Utplavana, he wouldn't say Chada, he'd say Man Mariyade. Tulli Tulli va. Terms which you associate with nature. So, what was his vision? Taking inspiration from nature. And that he awakened within me to look outside. And he would say, "Porum, porum, moodi vai booka," because I would be reading something. But he would not say, "Don't read." He would imply that I must apply what I am reading to nature around, because the greatest grantha today or any time is Prakriti. What is there in Prakriti that we do not know? You want a color combination? No need to go to Nalli or Sundari and go look at nature. No, you want movement? No need to look at X, Y, or Z dancing. Look at the grace of the tree moving when you look out of the window. You want to get movement, be inspired. Today, maybe by National Geographic or Animal Planet. But see, our great granthas, our Lakshana granthas, actually record all this. We talk of gatis, we talk of charis, everything inspiration is from life. So, what is happening as time goes on is that caught up in this very metro life and fast life, which is so fast, you forget to look out of the window. You forget to connect with life and nature. And a guru like Varuvu Ramya Pillai awakened me to all those necessary thrusts for growth. After a whole day, he would just say, "Look out of the window." So normally, in a class, when one boy is looking out of the window and not listening to the teacher will say, "What are you doing looking out of the window? Pay attention to what I have." He would say the opposite, "Look out of the window." But it's for you to grasp that he wants you to see the beauty out there and to see the forces of nature, to make them your own and organically become part of it, because you are finally Panchabuta. And then he used to say that, "Look out of the window." And then another thing is to frequently say, because I think this applies to everybody, because once a class is over, we all chatter. Everyone tends to do it. We've all done it. We all will want to chatter. We will fight, we'll argue, we'll not even talk about that subject. That's life, that's nature, that's human nature. He used to say, எல்லாரும் எல்லாரும்னா இங்கே நாங்கள் 3 பேர் தான், எல்லாரும்னா அப்படிலாம் பெருசாக அந்த காலத்தில் தான் 30 பேர் எல்லாம் கிடையாது கிளாஸில், 3 பேர் தான், அதை ஊற்றி சதா ஆப்சண்ட்டு. இப்போ he used to say, இப்போது நான் சொன்னதுன்னா நீங்கள் அசை போடுங்கோ, வாயை மூடிண்டு போங்கோ, வச்சனா பேசாதேங்கோ. See, that is chewing the cud. So every one of us needs to realize that chewing the cud and swallowing the essence is what will make a better artist of you. So in my viewpoint, my guru, my acharya was Rajalakshmi teacher. My guru was Varuvu Ramya Pillai, who awakened my mind to that great vista which is there for every one of us to access. And also important, as the other speakers have said, a guru should not be partial. A guru will be able to judge what exactly a particular student is capable of. Going and telling your teacher, "Please teach me this piece, I want to do it." No, the guru knows better than you, or even the acharya knows better than you. So it's not a question of not wanting to hand down something, it is to give it to the patra which has the auchityam to receive it. Avladhan. because these things are being misunderstood a lot. If somebody says something, oh, they don't let us do those things. Oh, this is discouraging. It isn't that. It is just that they know more than you. As Narendra said, at least by virtue of age, they know better than us. So, and a guru also needs to set the example. If you need to live, you need to walk the path, you need to live what you preach. And it's better not to preach, but to live it and see the examples being emulated. Thank you, Roja. Thank you, co-speakers.
Thank you, Akka, for that awakening of the mind as far as Guru Sishya Parampara goes. And that is what we are trying to establish through this discussion, that the importance of being in such an atmosphere is absolutely necessary for this generation of students, because only in such an atmosphere, I think, as these panelists have also opined, that a healthy and positive way we can develop the complete art form. So it has become really very clear from the opinions and the inputs that we have just listened to, that the Guru Sishya Parampara and the way it has to be reiterated and established and maintained and passed on to the next generation is a very important part of and it rests on as a responsibility on the part of the acharyas to establish this in the youngsters. So it is a big responsibility with the acharyas to put across to the next generation of students the importance of learning in a parampara. And this brings us to the next question that I have here. Now, with the spread of the art form far and wide, and with COVID came the online learning sessions that we all were a victim to. So, as young dance teachers, there are many who have also now started teaching. As young dance teachers, mostly online, how does one incorporate a teaching method which also brings out the importance of the parampara? And also of late, we see that learning from various gurus has become the order of the day. So, and then what happens? You start learning from one acharya and then you move on to develop your art with another acharya. So what happens to the acharya from whom you learned first? Do you retain that, or do you just forget that acharya and just be a student of this acharya? So what happens to the sentiments, the feelings that the first acharya has? Yo, na kattu kuduthu valandava, ipa en periye solradilla. We hear this very often with many youngsters. So what are these students going behind is what the big question is. Is it that insecurity, or is it something else that they are looking for in the other acharya that the first acharya doesn't give them? So is it okay to do that? How do we as teachers accept it, or we just say, oh, it's part of the changing times, let's move on? So this is something that keeps working on my mind also. I just want your inputs and your opinion on this, Srilata, because you're also part of the university, Tamil Nadu, Dr. J. Jayalalitha Music and Fine Arts University. You're heading the Department of Natyam there. What is your take on this current trend that is happening?
Yes, this has been almost the norm today to perhaps thinking from the student's perspective. They are thinking about enhancing their repertoire. So they just want a bigger body of compositions to pick and choose from, given that, if they are given opportunities to perform, they do not want to perform to the same set of compositions that perhaps they have been trained in. So, in order to learn and enhance that, it's not wrong to learn something. There are so many possibilities today of workshops and immersive programs. And we do find we send our students to all of these programs so that they broaden their vision. That's it. But do they really, what is it that you want to do? You must take what you need. That is, there will be definitely something beautiful in the craft that they are passing on to you. You must take that and make meaning out of it in the form or in the composition that you are handling, rather than just add one more composition to the repertoire. Meaning, I may have just one margam to that I have been trained in. Now, this I'm saying, if I'm that student and I go into this immersive program or to a workshop where I learn, let's say, suddenly I'm exposed to, for the first time, to a very heavy Kshetriya Padam, and I learned that. Yes, I understand how heavy or how intense that it needs that much more understanding, awareness, and also the kind of how much you give to that in order to receive it. That is when that, there's an awareness of how intense that composition is. Perhaps that is why it was not given to you, because you were not ready for accepting or taking on that. Then that when that awareness dawns, and when you start seeing those little things or the finer nuances in that you need to imbibe, that learning, if you take back to your regular classroom, that is the day of awakening for you, and that is when you will truly learn much more. Then you don't need that repertoire or these many number of compositions in your vocabulary. That doesn't matter anymore. You can just build on anything, because if you are strong in that foundation, and that's the reason why we go and watch performances, and that's the reason why we go and participate in these kind of workshops and immersive programs, in order to imbibe, assimilate. From the Angika, you vocalize your feelings through a Vachika, and then you embellish with all those finer nuances of Aharya so that you know your Sattva, your Sattvika. And that is when the artist becomes truly an artist. So when you see them hopping, that is because they have not understood what they're looking for. They're still looking for something. They have not found it, and that's why they're hopping. So if they have a sense of groundedness, then they will not hop like this. Surely they will not be jumping around. But in an institution like a university, definitely we see students from various backgrounds. Sometimes it's very difficult to teach, because you can teach what you have learned and the way you have learned. So you might, especially if you're teaching something that has been handed down to you, then it's all the more, you feel all the more responsible to teach it in a particular way. The spirit of the dance should not get lost. So very often, I try not to do that, because unless I know that that particular student has invested enough time with me, then she or he is not capable of carrying the spirit of that particular composition the way it is. It's a little all right, I feel, to do it with my own composition, my own choreography. At least, that's all right. But something that has been handed down, there is more responsibility that I expect from the student who also learns it from me.
Thank you, Srilata. That was very well said. Shailaja, what is your take? Especially after after heading Abhay for 6 years, I've heard several times when we hold Abhivriddhi Shalas and we invite senior gurus to come and handle these Abhivriddhi Shalas, and a lot of students come and learn in these Abhivriddhi Shalas. But then many say that the Banis have merged, and then students lose the identity that they belong to because of coming to the Abhivriddhi Shalas. So everybody is dancing like everybody else. So we are not able to see any clear-cut Bani. So those sort of negative opinions also we have faced. But what do you think? Do you allow your students to learn in these Abhivriddhi Shalas or workshops? But then my main question here is, just by the fact that you learn a particular item from somebody, do you become their student? How can you put that guru's name or that acharya's name as disciple of so and not the original acharya from whom you learn? I think that practice has become very rampant, and I'm not a big fan of that. So that is what I want to establish here at this in this platform. Yeah. So, what is your take on this, Shailaja? Is it okay for them to go and learn, and then, like Srilata said, make it their own based on their learnings, or you don't allow them at all?
See, now the question starts because I'm trained in two styles and I teach two styles, especially when it comes to Kuchipudi, because Bharatanatyam, we have such wonderful, great masters, great teachers, and wonderful artists, whether, the younger generation or the renowned artists. But when you come to Kuchipudi, it is very, very restricted. And over India, if you see, there are very, very few artists who are really established in the style of Kuchipudi, whether it being the traditional village style or Vempati Master style or Raja Reddy Garu style, whichever style you've learned from. So just right away pointing to Roja's question, see, as far as I'm concerned with Kuchipudi, I do allow students to go for workshops and really not kind of learn the item, but I want them to go and see and go through the process. Because for example, if you take Swapna Sundari garu, she's such an amazing artist to me. So I really, when students come forward to me and say, teacher, somebody is conducting a workshop, I'd like to go and be part of the workshop, I do encourage them. But the thing is that you have to follow that you have learnt a particular style and you have a guru who has, sculpted you and who has brought you up to a certain, I wouldn't say level, who has really trained you in that particular style. So if you're watching somebody else, there is nothing wrong, but you must imbibe the best out of them. You're not going to really, really perform the way they did or the exact item. You have to inculcate in you, imbibe what for the purpose why you're going for the workshop. If I'm trained in the Vaduvur style, if I'm watching a Kalakshetra artist, which I have done several times, now it doesn't mean I'm imbibing Kalakshetra style. No, I have my own style, my guru. I have followed the Vaduvur style for several years. But there are certain aspects which has really, kind of mesmerized me, or the way they express, or the kind of aramandi, or the way they portray certain hastas. So these are things you have to imbibe. You don't have to copy, and you don't have to be a replica of the artist. I have been great fans of great legends on Bharatanatyam for several years. I have only imbibed why have they become great? What is special about them? Not all the artists in their generation got a name. Still, very few artists, as we know, have made their name as the exponents of dance. They're the best in India. So, what is the speciality? You have to look for the speciality and not replicate them. So, attending the workshops or kind of these.
Dance immersives. That's the new term now.
New terms, I am not very familiar with these terms. So there's nothing wrong. Poi parungo and then learn an item, nothing wrong. If you're learning a Bharatanatyam item, a Varnam, as she said, Abai conducts so many, kind of workshops, please go. But the point is, you can always perform it in your style. I mean, that is my opinion. If you're learning a Varnam, try to inculcate the same thing, but do it in your style, because you have a teacher who's taught you. You cannot just shift yourself. Then comes the problem: which bani are you following? Which teacher are you following? If you are particular to follow a bani, for me, Vadavur style and the Vempati style, I feel they're amazing and I have nothing more to add on. Truly, I think it just encompasses the whole history, and whatever it is in that style, I think the gurus have just brought them in. So what I do is to just add on a little flavor to it. And the other thing that, Ruja, that I've very commonly noticed when they go for these workshops, or where they learned, as you said, from a item, one particular item for another guru, or even your own students, they learned this item and here and there little changes are made. Like, for example, if we are taught Tayyum Tatta, now Tayyum Tatta, is this a big change? Idu madri kutti kuttiya, they change the items, the steps, and they say the item is choreographed by me.
Yeah.
This is something I don't really totally accept, because the masters have made extensive research and they have put their blood and sweat into choreographing something. So I think you have no right to change even one step.
Correct.
It belongs to them, it is their input, it is their creativity. So you have no business to change even a single step, because if you can even perform that item the way they have choreographed, it is very, very difficult. It takes years to perfect their art. So if you're just going to make changes here and there, add one sahityam there, and then some other song you add one virtham here, and then you say it's choreographed. No, no, no. Please try your own choreography. This is how we have tried. Maybe we were bad in the beginning. So try your own choreography. You have learnt dance for several years. We give lot of pomp and pride in saying, I've learnt dance for 15 years. So please try your choreography. Don't disturb and don't play with the original choreography, because that is not what it is required, and it is a disrespect to that. And the other thing I said is, you don't, because I'm seeing that a lot, that we have also enjoyed a lot of artists like Yamini Amma, amazing Kuchipudi, Shobha Naidu, amazing Abhinaya. But you don't have to replicate, because I feel you lose your identity. You have a beautiful artist in you. You are capable of something. You have been trained for this for several years. So bring out your joy of dancing. Bring out your expertise. Of course, the teacher is there to correct you, and certain things, when you go out of line, they are there to bring you into shape and form. But then you lose your identity. You're trying to copy. It's like exams, you're having a book and you're just copying a chapter. So this is where you lose the joy of dancing your individual dance. So there's nothing wrong, explore, and the younger generation really want to explore into a lot of things. For example, if you take a lot of people, they've been asking, why is the woman always pining for the man? I mean, I don't have an answer at all. Why can't the man pine? Yes, there is a innate, kind of emotion where they do long for their partner, where they do long for the naika. But the point is, I believe that structurally, women are more emotional. We show out our, emotions very, very quickly and very, openly. So that is why probably here the men don't do that. Even in real life, I tell my students, when you're doing a Varnam, just think, Ye varla, why hasn't he come? Saki, can you go? Can you send a messenger? Wonderful. Now they say, oh, Allah Varnatlium, same thing, same Saki, same Lord. Then what are you doing in real life? The only thing technology, you're bringing in technology. If your man or your wife or your partner doesn't come back, you're texting, why are you late? This is your way of expression today. But please understand, we are doing a classical art. We're taking out generations which have been passed on to us. It is all the similar emotions, similar thing that you're all going through in day-to-day life. So, trying to question everything, trying to, bring down something. Why can't I do this? Please go ahead doing. But understand that it has to have a connect with your real life. That is what still classical dance is about.
Thank you, Shailaja, for your inputs. Narendra, your take on Abhivriddhi Shalas and students going and learning and then becoming a student of that guru, forgetting the original Acharya. What is your take on this?
Okay, first of all, I would like to tell Shailaja that I'm a very emotional person. I completely disagree that I'm man enough to cry. So, I'm surprised that men are, are stones or something. No, at least not me. Anyway, but we started with online and switching teachers. So,
Yeah.
kind of digressed all over the place. And another thing, you first have to remember whoever taught you the first step. Doesn't matter who he, she was. நான் என்னை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் இன்னி வரைக்கும் தட்டி கும்பிட்டு மேடை ஏறும்போது ஃபஸ்ட்டு டே யார் என்ன கொஞ்சோண்டு சொல்லி கொடுத்து வாத்தியாரையும் ஞாபகம் வச்சுட்டு தான் நான் இன்னி வரைக்கும் மேடை ஏறுறேன். அது எல்லாருக்கும் இருக்கணும். அது ஒன்றும் ஸ்பெஷல் கிடையாது. அதாவது இன்றைக்கி நான் கலாக்ஷேத்ரா இல்லாட்டி ஹார்வர்ட்லேருந்து வந்தேன்றதுனால நான் ஃபஸ்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் மறக்கலை, எல்லாமே ஞாபகம் வச்சுட்டுருக்கேன். அப்படி தான் எல்லோரும் இருக்கணுன்றது தான் என்னோடய கருத்து. அப்புறம் இந்த ஆன்லைன் அப்படின்னு பேசினீங்க. ஆன்லைன் இஸ் நாட் சம்திங் ஃபார் மீ பிகாஸ் மை திங் இஸ் நேராக சொல்லி கொடுத்தாலே வர மாட்டேங்கிறது. ஆன்லைன் நேரத்தை சொல்லி கொடுக்குறது. நான் இங்கே ததிங்கிணத்தம் சொன்னால் 5 மினிட்டுக்கு அப்புறம் கிணத்தம் வரும். எனக்கு தாளங்கான எல்லாம் டவுட் வந்துடும் எனக்கு சில வாட்டி. அதனால ஐ டோன்ட் வென்ச்சர் இன் டு திஸ் திங்ஸ். ஈவன் டியூரிங் கோவிட் ஐ டிட். I'm also not techno-savvy, and I'm not saying online is wrong. Let me put that also. For convenience, somebody who cannot come. I live in Mylapore, somebody lives in some Timbuktu, cannot come there, and very interested, want to hell-bent on learning only from me. Abdindra or situation vandaduna, to save time and all that, it is necessary evil. That's all. But in my opinion, Natyam is not something which is suitable online because as you need that vibration. ஒரு வாத்தியார் முன்னாடி இருந்து சொல்லி கொடுத்தா தான் அவனுக்கு வித்யா வரும். இதுதான் என்னோட பர்சனல் ஸ்ட்ராங் கருத்து. ஸோ that is anyway, let's leave that aside. Now just simply I take your line, less is more. I take that caption. For everything you keep it simple. Don't complicate. Natyam should not be this complicated. It's just a divine art form. You find happiness. You find your zone. You don't chase items. You don't chase gurus. You don't chase teachers. You don't really need to do it. என் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸுக்கு நான் போவாளா அப்படின்னா நீங்கள் கேட்குறத ஃபஸ்ட்டு நான் சொல்லி கொடுத்தது ஒழுங்காக படிங்க, அப்புறம் பார்த்துக்கலான்னு தான் சொல்லுவேன். எனக்கே நிறைய தெரியும். லெட் மீ பி லிட்டில் லெஸ் ஹம்பிள். எனக்கே நிறைய தெரியும். நான் சொல்லி கொடுத்தது ஃபஸ்ட்டு எக்ஸிக்யூட் பண்ண ஃபஸ்ட்டு படிங்கோ. அதுக்கப்புறம் நீங்கள் கோரியோகிராஃபர் ஆகலாம், க்ரியேட்டிவ் ஆகலாம், இன்னோவேட்டிவ் ஆகலாம், கன்ஃபியூஷன் கொண்டு வரலாம், அதெல்லாம் அப்புறம் பார்த்துக்கலாம். ஃபஸ்ட்டு நான் நானே 50 வருஷமாக 52 வருஷமாக டான்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டுருக்கேன், படிச்சுட்டுருக்கேன். எனக்கே எல்லாம் வரல. எனக்கிட்டே இருக்கிறது நீ ஃபஸ்ட்டு படி. அதுக்கப்புறம் நீ சித்ரா விஸ்வேஸ்வரன் கிட்டே போகணுன்னாலோ இன்னொருத்தர் மற்றவங்கிட்ட போகணுன்னா நான் தாராளமாக ப்ளீஸ் கோ அப்படின்னு நானே அனுப்பிடுவேன். பட் எண்ணம் இஸ் நாட் தி ப்ரெசன்ட் டே ட்ரெண்ட். இஸ் வாட் இஸ் தே லுக்கிங் அவுட் ஃபார் த அடவு. ஐ வாண்ட் டு லேர்ன். யாரும் எனக்கு ஃபோன் பண்ணி சொன்னது தான் பர்சனல் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ். கால் ஃப்ரம் பெங்களூர், அண்ணா ஐ வாண்ட் டு லேர்ன் அடவுஸ் ஃப்ரம் யூ. I said, why just Adavus? I don't know anything else. My question is, why? I don't know anything else. What does that mean? I mean, so I want to learn technicalities from you. They come up with this confused state of mind. First, they have to repair their brain. And in terms of learning, you know, first, everybody knows your basics has to be the first thing. என் வீட்டு பக்கத்துலேயே யாரோ வாத்தியார் இருக்கா, ஐ டோன்ட் நோ த க்ரெடென்ஷியல்ஸ் நத்திங். பக்கத்தில் வசதியாக இருக்குன்னு அங்கே நாட்டியத்துக்கு சேர்த்தா உனக்கு அவ்வளோதான் வரும். யூ ஹாவ் டு டூ அ லிட்டில் பிட் ஆஃப் ரீசர்ச் அபவுட் யுவர் டீச்சர், வாட் இஸ் he or she is capable of. Look at, go watch performance, etc., then put them. That's how you put them. Not because நீங்கள் வேலைச்சேரி பக்கத்தில் இருக்குது அதனால நான் வந்து இங்கே அனுப்புகிறேன்றது மாதிரி இல்லை. யூ ஹேவ் டு ஃபஸ்ட் யூ ஹேவ் டு நோ. இட்ஸ் நாட் யூனோ ஸ்கூல் பக்கத்தில் இருக்குன்னுன்ற நாட்டியம் அப்படி படிக்க முடியாது. Unfortunately, it's very important that these things have they have to think much ahead of time. And going to Adavu to one person, item for one person, Abhinaya for another person, you will create so much confusion, you will get nowhere. You will, in my strong opinion, you will get nowhere. You don't need to do that. You first find the right teacher, learn as much as possible, and the teacher himself, herself is honest. If I am honest, இதுக்கு மேலே எனக்கு சொல்ல கொடுக்க தெரியல, தயவு செஞ்சு இன்னொருத்தர்கிட்ட போ அப்படின்னு சொல்கிற வரைக்கும் அங்கே இரு, அப்போ தான் உனக்கு வித்யா வரும். தேங்க்யூ.
Thank you, Narendra. Akka, your take on online teaching and Abhivriddhi Shala learnings and disciple of so and so, so and so, and so and so, so and so, or just forget the original guru, teacher. What do you feel? I mean, how does it affect you? Or have you just, oh, it's part of the changing times? Abdina, are you able to accept it and move on?
Well, come to think of it, we have to accept everything that is thrown in our way. But that doesn't mean one doesn't get hurt. Imagine the energy one has given of oneself totally to the student. It's every teacher has given totally of oneself and neglected oneself in order to make the others grow because it's giving. But it's also very fulfilling when you see your student growing. But then when suddenly one day they decide, I must go to this workshop, I must go there, and I must go into this immersive. I don't understand this term, there is an immersive happening. Why? Natyam is totally immersive. You can't be a good dancer if you are not in an you don't have an immersive attitude. In fact, iniki the immersive gra. I used to years ago say, we are all like ஊறுகாய். ஊறுகாய் ஜாடியில் எப்படி ஊற வச்சாதான் டேஸ்ட் வருதோ அப்படி தான் we can create rasa if we immerse ourselves in it. Now, as Narendra said, all these newfangled words which are confusing everybody, they are going against inclusivity and breaking things up into part. Now, to go back to, if your guru feels you should be sent to someone, Lakshman sir.
Yeah.
Perfect example, a great teacher, a great guru who has created so many brilliant dancers. அவர் at one stage அந்த வந்து பதம் கற்றுக்கிறதுக்கு கலாநிதி மாமிட்ட அமிச்சார். அது வேறு விஷயம். ஆனால் வந்து you decide that my present teacher cannot give me enough, so I go. Right or wrong, it doesn't stand in a play in the law court, but it definitely hurts. And I think we all have to think, every one of us, however old we are, that relationship between Guru and Shishya is very special, very, very special. And you must not hurt any of your shikshakas, acharyas, or your gurus. Having said that, talking about online teaching, I'm not very tech savvy, but I'm not ignorant either. But I'm not happy teaching online. because that bonding that is there, that strong bond, and looking at the flicker of an eyelid, looking at the twitching of a lip, a cheek muscle, all that is cannot really be seen online. அதெல்லாம் வந்து overall இப்போ when I do online classes is when the person cannot come, as you said, and it is more a follow up of what is being taught in person. Because I am incapable. It's maybe my limitation. But I know many people who are doing it successfully, but I do feel that does not produce holistic dancers. It's very necessary to hear, to connect between a sangadi and a movement of the head or the wrist, to look into the deeper shades, the subcurrents, there's so many undercurrents which you must experience. And this experience comes much better when we are one to one. In fact, I think as a society, we are losing this personal touch. Everybody is texting everybody, when you could just pick up the same phone and hear a voice. It makes so much difference. The tone of the voice, there is warmth or there's anger or whatever there is, but this texting, but everyone has become a slave of it, what to do? So, but we all need to consciously pull away from these things. Then again, talking about learning from somebody for years, and then, see, I can understand if you have learned from a certain level, proficiency of artist, then maybe you think you're ready, or your teacher should think you're ready to go to a person higher in the hierarchy. Not higher because they are older or something, but higher because there is that bandwidth of knowledge. Then it is okay. But if you go to the same level or someone even less, just because you want to learn some items, or you have a small tiff with your teacher, I think it's in very bad taste, very, very bad taste. And that not mentioning the earlier teacher at all, and saying you're a shishya of such a guru so and so, so and so. All these are very tasteless. And I think it's very important that we have ethics in the field. And I think if somebody's students come to you to learn, you must first clear it up with that teacher. It's not enough if that student comes and tells you, oh, I've got the permission to come and learn from you. You never know who's saying what. So clear it up. Ask that person, did you really send that person? And is it okay by you? Then I will teach you. I do that even in the case of my students who come to me for advanced work. I ask the student, is it okay? Have you given permission? Then I will teach. Otherwise, why? Life is so short, and why do you want to have so much ill feeling finally? Because after all, what is dance for? It is to tap and awaken the Anandamaya Kosha within you. And it is to catapult you to a high level of oneness with the sublime, the divine. That is the purpose. You lose the whole purpose if you do not have a set of ethics. And whether they should watch or not watch others was also brought up. I think we must watch a lot. I think because what we learn directly, we know that shloka, all of us. We learn it directly, but we also learn a lot through observation. But we have to develop discrimination, the eye of discrimination. What is good and what is bad, and what is good for you and what will not suit you. Just because everyone is is wearing a fluorescent green with a yellow border, doesn't mean it may suit you. You must see, everything has to become your own. It has to become organic. Whatever inspires you, chew on it, make it your own, and then it becomes part of you. It doesn't stick like an appendage. It's not like, please read the attachment. It won't be an attachment, it will become part of you. Few things.
Thank you, Akka. That was brilliant.
Just to add on quickly, the Guru Matardu, when I, as I said, 18 years with Sarsama, and then I had a great fascination for Kuchipudi style. So literally, I sat and I told her, teacher, can I learn? Only with her permission, I learnt another style. It was totally a different style and a different guru. But I said only because I was a senior student of her school, a solo performer of her school. So I said, teacher, only if you're okay with it, only if you give permission and you're happy to send me. And of course, with all her heart, she sent me. And she said, poi kattukopa, evlo periya guru. So the point is that, apdi varumbodhu also you feel, till today I'm grateful to her for that one sentence. And just to add on online, I think sometimes we take when they are really focused. Because as Akka saw, I had a Polish student who did her Arangetram. 4 years she's been with me. But the point is, I found she was really focused. And every year she came to India to spend, whatever 2 months, 3 months to be, and Nera Kattuka. See, that was important. She came and she said, no, teacher, I have to be in person to learn the art form also. So those times, I think online becomes, but then unless there is a focus for online, otherwise I think we also pass it on to our senior students. Because today the other point is, the senior students having spent so many years of dancing, earning money, and if they are, total professionals, here and there, they have to make some money to, go through their life and expense. So sometimes that also I think is important, but the focus then we as teachers, the main teachers take. But otherwise, I do pass it on to my senior students. So it also depends how much you're focused, what is your passion. And I think really sometimes I wonder, what do you want as the younger generation from dance? You want to learn the nuances of dance, you want to be a performer, you want to be a teacher, you want to be a promoter. But if you're trying to do everything in one go, I think it'll be really, really tough.
Thank you, Shailaja. As it's always the case, we are running out of time. Absolutely. Chitraka, some few last words.
Just a line in a lighter vein. Nariya Pakano, not only dance, you must see dance, theatre, you must listen to music, you must see painting, you must see sculpture. Not just Indian, but not only Bharatiya, but global. Ellathiyum paathu rasika theriyunam. You must first be a rasika. And while dancing, even if you know music, at that point in time, you must be a rasika of your musicians. Then only it reflects in your body and dance. All that is fine, all that we all know. But nariya paathu, nariya thenjikkiradhula, you observe what is beautiful and make it your own. But you can also see what all is not beautiful and see you don't do that. So there are two ways to watch it.
Thank you so much, Chitraka, Srilata, Shailaja, and Narendra for your precious time. And hope a few of the points that we have discussed will make you reflect on what we said. I mean, it's not that all that we have said is acceptable to all that we have discussed is against your what you feel, but at least reflect on the important points that we have discussed. I have a whole lot of questions here which I couldn't actually field because of the paucity of time, unfortunately. We will have a second session of this panel discussion where we discuss very, very important issues that are facing for young and upcoming dancers are facing, and young acharyas are also facing, and how do we find a solution? Elephant. And how do we find a solution to such things? A healthy conversation is always good, and we will find a via media to find solutions. Thank you all for your presence, for your support, and I wish Nirvikalpa all the very best in their wonderful initiative. Thank you. Namaskara.